I had the job I worked hard for, a beautiful house, a family that loved me, reasonably good health. Why was I not happy? And was happiness even required? The Dalai Lama has said that the very purpose of our lives is to seek happiness. Aristotle had said, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. My second question was clearly answered. Yes, happiness is required. Humans need happiness. But if so, what was keeping me from it? What keeps many of us from happiness? Have you had that feeling where you keep going towards your goals and you keep achieving something, but you never find that calmness and peace to really be happy? Two reasons come to mind. The first is a dependence on external stimulus for happiness. I'll be happy when I get into that college, when I secure that merit award, when I marry that person, when I have a child, when I. There is no end to this. Research after research has found that when we experience something nice like a salary increase, or even something great like a lottery win, we become instantaneously happy. This happiness lasts for a brief period before we become accustomed to that as the new normal. And then our happiness scale tilts back to its original state. We start thinking of the next big thing. We must all work towards our dreams and goals. That is part of who we are as humans. But there is no need to be dependent on those dreams and goals for our sense of worth. Our lives are bigger than a set of goals. The second point that leads us to a lack of happiness is a lack of gratitude. In Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, the shepherd boy leaves his comfort, his job, his country to look for a treasure, but finds so many disappointments and delays. He's robbed of all his money, he's stuck in a job he doesn't enjoy. He realizes the treasure is probably never to be his. But he quickly lets that go. He's in a new land, with new things to learn, with new opportunities. What does it matter that the treasure he seeks is nowhere close? He is happy where he is. In The Art of Happiness, the Dalai Lama mentions that if you have a strong sense of contentment, it doesn't matter whether you obtain the object or not. Either way, you're still content. Contentment, then, is the key. And contentment comes from a deep sense of gratitude for what I have, because what I have is beautiful. Paulo Coelho wrote that every blessing ignored becomes a curse. How profound is that? When we fail to recognize what we have, in a way, we lose what we have. When we start thinking that each day is the same as next, we do not see the good things that keep happening or the new things we keep learning every day. I once met this lady who talked at length about the pain she had in her legs. I told her how sorry I was, and she laughed and said, "No need." She told me that this pain reminded her that she was alive, and she was grateful for that. She was happy. It's the little things then. It's the small wins, like being alive. But maybe some of us are hardwired to not be happy. Maybe it is part of the genetic makeup to be unhappy more than others. Maybe, but that does not mean that my mind cannot be trained. Happiness is dependent on how you perceive your situation. Neuroscientists have proven that our brain is adaptable. The wiring of our nerve cells is not fixed. As we change our thought process, as we train ourselves to look at things in a new way, our brain responds by redoing our old patterns, even changing the neurons to respond faster to this new stimuli. Happiness is a stable sense of being, a sense that transcends what else is happening in my life. It is a joy of living, of being alive, of embracing life, and of appreciating everything I have. I do that now. Every morning, when I wake up, I think to myself, I'm so grateful for what I have. I'm so lucky. I'm so happy.
Beautiful.